I mean, before gold, we had barter. Barter wasn't working because it was like there's no constant medium of exchange. It's like you would trade me shells for my sheep. Like I can't bring sheep around everywhere. Hey everyone, Humphrey here. Welcome back to Chime In Money Talk. Today we're breaking down the basics of banking, how it works, what you need to open an account, and how to pick the right bank for you. How do banks work? Well, they will hold your money safely and they will give you access to your money through accounts, cards, and ATMs. And in turn, they will lend out your deposits for other people. So that might sound a little bit weird, but they lend it out in terms of mortgages, loans, etc. And they will earn interest on those loans. However, your money is insured up to $250,000 by the FDIC. In return, they might pay you interest and provide services like payments, transfers, and savings tools. How do banks make money? Well, banks will lend out deposits in the form of loans, credit cards, and mortgages at a higher interest rate than what they pay you for storing your money with them. The second method is that they earn from fees, so overdraft fees, ATM fees, account maintenance fees, and wire transfer fees. If you're looking for a fee-free option, you want to check out Chime. They have no mandatory fees. Lastly, some profit might also be from investments and services like wealth management or foreign exchange. What do you need to open a bank account? Well, it really depends by bank, but typically what you need is a valid ID, so that's something like a driver's license, passport, or government-issued ID, and your social security number. You'll also need a proof of address like a utility bill, lease, or official mail, but if you're banking online, sometimes you won't need this because they'll just be able to run this for you on the back end. Lastly, you'll need an initial deposit if the bank requires one, and some accounts will let you start one with $0, but typically $50 or even $100 is usually recommended. What's the best bank for a savings account? Usually the best bank is the one that will give you a high interest rate plus have flexibility that might fit your needs. Digital banks and credit unions, for example, usually offer the best type of APYs far above traditional banks. You know, you can always explore your options. You want to look for accounts with no monthly fees, no minimums, easy online access, and FDIC insurance. There are going to be some banks out there that offer you an unusually high interest rate, but you want to check the terms on those because usually they are just for, let's say, up to $5,000. You might get a really high interest rate, and then any dollar after that is at a much lower interest rate. So just make sure you read the terms for every bank that you're about to sign up for. Which bank gives a high interest savings rate? Well, typically the older school brick and mortar banks usually offer very low savings rates because they have to pay for their branches, which are physical locations. And digital banks are usually better in this regard for interest rates in particular because they have no physical locations, so they usually offer you a much higher APY, often between 3 to 5%. If you want your money to grow, I would say an online savings account is usually the clear winner here. How many bank accounts should I have? Well, that also depends on who you are as a person. If you want to have multiple bank accounts, perhaps you've maxed out the $250,000 FDIC insurance at one bank account, you can open another. However, if you just have one bank account, it's probably fine, but you can have as many as you would like. It just depends on you. How do I transfer money from one bank to another? These days, there are many methods to transfer money from one person to another or one bank to another. A commonly used method is the ACH transfer or online transfer. You link both of the accounts in your bank's app, and then you are able to transfer from one account to another. The second method is to send money instantly with services like Zelle, Chime, PayPal, or Venmo, especially if both banks support it. You can also do a wire transfer for faster same-day moves, usually with a fee. These are usually for bigger sums of money or perhaps wiring money internationally. What is a bank statement? Well, a bank statement will show you the monthly summary of your account activity. So these are any deposits, withdrawals, fees, and interest. A bank statement will typically show what you started with, the transactions that occurred during that statement, and the ending balance for that period. Statements will help you track spending, spot errors or fraud, and keep records for taxes or budgeting. What is investment banking? This is a loaded question, but investment bankers help companies and governments raise money by issuing stocks or bonds. Bankers will also usually advise on big deals like mergers, acquisitions, or even corporate restructuring, so this is unlike traditional banking whatsoever. This might be surprising to you, but investment banking is not about personal investing such as 401ks and IRAs. That's more of a wealth management type of thing. Investment bankers are focused on capital markets and large transactions, not everyday checkings or savings accounts. How do banking CDs work? So a CD stands for Certificate of Deposit, and essentially it just means that you lock up your money with that bank for a set fixed time in exchange for a fixed interest rate. That interest rate is usually a little bit higher than a regular savings account, but you can't access the funds until the certificate of deposit matures. And when it matures, that means the term ends and you will get your original deposit plus your interest back. What bank is Chime? So Chime is not a bank, it's actually a financial technology company known as a fintech company. It has banking services such as checking accounts, saving accounts, and debit cards, and those are provided by partner banks like the Bancorp Bank or the Stride Bank. Because Chime is a fintech, not a branch-heavy bank, it can cut costs and pass those savings to members with things like no fees and higher yield features. This setup lets Chime focus on building easy, modern tools, while the partner banks handle the regulatory banking side. Well, the best bank is the one that works for you with your actual interests in mind, and for most Americans, that's why Chime is a solid option. You get fee-free banking, plus credit building, and simple tools that make managing your money easy. For everyday people who want a smarter way to bank without hassle, Chime checks a lot of boxes. All right, so there you have it, the internet's most asked banking questions. At the end of the day, the best bank is the one that helps you save more money, pay less in fees, and reach your financial goals faster. Thanks for joining me on Chime In Money Talk, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace. Chime is trying to up their YouTube game, and as you know, subscribers matter here on YouTube, so it would mean a lot to the Chime team, as well as me, if you click that subscribe button. It only takes 1 second, it's just one click, but it would mean a lot to us, so thank you.